All right, guys, over the weekend, our guy Earl the Pearl, who unfortunately is working from home today, is not in with us to help defend his point, was talking about the Browns, the upcoming season, and how much of a difference he believes Todd Monken can make as opposed to Kevin Stefanski. And on his show on 92.3 The Fan from 8 to 12, tune into Earl and Spencer every weekend, Earl had this to say, and I quote, "We got 5 wins out of all that last year with Todd Monken, better coaches in the building, a new philosophy, a new system, improved talent. Why is it that people are finding it hard to believe that the Browns can win 8 games? Why is it hard for people to believe that our new head coach can be worth 3 more wins than what we got last year?" End quote. Earl did text me his rebuttal, so I'm going to let you guys go, then I'll read you Earl's response. But do you guys believe Todd Monken could be worth 3 extra wins for the Browns in
No.
2026?
I don't think there's any coach worth 3 extra wins, let alone a guy who's never been a head coach before. I love you, Earl. And listen, Earl is a diehard fan. Okay? He's biased when it comes to this conversation. I have people still to this day, even though I've been here 15 years, that will say, "Why are you talking about the Browns? You're not a Browns fan." You should want me talking about the Browns because I'm not biased when it comes to the Browns. If you just want to hear fluff, then listen to only fans all the time. But if you want an opinion that's not going to be biased, and it's more likely to be someone who's not a fan of that team in general. Now, I understand as a fan wanting to be optimistic about your team. And I'm not saying Todd Monken's going to be a bad coach. I have no idea. But to think a guy who's never been a head coach would be worth 3. Andy Reid, Sean McVay, I don't believe they're worth 3 wins. And they're proven are they the 2 best coaches in the league?
Yeah,
right?
They'd be my choices. Yeah.
Okay, they'd be mine also. I don't think they're worth 3 wins. I don't think any coach is worth 3 wins. I don't think Bill Belichick is worth 3 wins in his prime. Nothing. Now, you could disagree, fine. I mean, it's all subjective. There's no facts to back any of this up. It's just an opinion. There's no way to quantify a coach helping you win games. And certainly a coach matters. Let me make clear, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. But as I've always said, I think there's a couple of really good coaches. I think there's a couple of really terrible coaches. And most of the guys in the league, in my opinion, and Todd Monken's probably in this group, is interchangeable. It's all about the talent. Now, is the talent better on this team? Yeah. Enough to win 3 more games? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's unlikely. You can't just look at it in a linear way like they won 5 last year. This is better, this is better, this is better. First of all, whatever you feel about Kevin Stefanski, and I liked Kevin at first and I soured on him over the years, I clearly always felt that he was in that group of 25 coaches in the middle, which most coaches are. Wasn't in the great group, and he wasn't in the terrible group, in my opinion. But even if you think he was in the terrible group, you don't know what Todd Monken is. He's never been a head coach. Kevin Stefanski had experience. You lost Jim Schwartz, one of the best DCs in the league, for a guy who's never been a DC. Your new offensive coordinator has never been an offensive coordinator. So your 3 most important jobs on the coaching staff, you say better coaches, they might be better, but especially at DC, it's unlikely that Mike Ruttenberg is going to be better than Jim Schwartz. I find that hard to believe. The other 2, yeah, that's certainly possible. But and special teams, maybe, fine. But you've also lost your best player in Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett is the most impactful player on this team. Part of the reason you won 5 games last year is Myles Garrett. Because other teams have to account for him.
He basically won you the Steelers game.
100%. He's like every game they win, even if he doesn't have a statistically amazing game, teams are worried about him on every play. Jared Verse, very good player. Teams are not taking him for granted, but you're not worried about him on every play like you are Myles Garrett, and that has changed. That's a big difference. So might the offense be? We don't even know the offense is going to be better. On paper, your quarterback room is worse. Yeah, listen, if Shedeur Sanders plays really well, could the Browns win 8 games? Of course. But if you're being fair about it, and you ran computer simulations 100 times, how many times would the Browns win more than 6 games? 15? 10, 20 maybe? Like, it's not likely. And that's just 6, let alone getting to 8.
I see Earl's point in the fact that everything that went wrong with Stefanski last year, the penalties, they were clearly a very undisciplined team.
No doubt.
There were all those issues. That falls on coaching. And in the NFL, the margin for error is so razor thin that a coach that puts a little more discipline, gets his guys ready a little more, that might be worth you win one of those games that you were so close to. So I see his point, but you're right. You can't quantify, say, oh, this head coach, you put Bill Belichick on this team, that might be worth a win, maybe here or there, maybe a different scenario, but you can't say he's worth a certain amount. But I see where Earl's coming from, and I think this all just points to things had soured so much under Kevin Stefanski. People have gotten so sick of I understand the question, what I would tell you is blank. Todd Monken's got a personality. Todd Monken is a lot of fun to listen to, and we like that so much. He's got everyone moving in the right direction, and we want to believe.
None of that has anything to do with winning games, by the way.
Right. But it makes you feel more confident. To Chris's point, as a fan, it makes you feel better. And he could end up being a better coach. I'm not denying that he could. He might turn out to be a tremendous coach, but we don't know that going in. Go ahead, Jason.
I mean, I agree with pretty much everything that you said. The only thing I would add to that is, they won 5 games last year, and this is the NFL. Like, games are decided on the narrowest of margins. And you could point to Minnesota and say they should have won that one, and they probably should have. If they get one defensive stop, they win that game. But you can, like, they had no business winning the Packers game. They stole that game.
Right.
And they stole the last 2 at the end of the season. The Steelers game was weird.
Yeah.
And the Bengals game, they have 2 defensive scores?
Yes.
So, I mean.
And they, to be fair, too, they probably should have won that first Bengal game, though.
They probably should have.
Probably should have won that
And
game.
that's why you can look at this like this is the NFL.
Right.
You win some games you should lose, and you lose some games you should win.
And the schedule changes from year to year, and your luck changes from year to year. There's so many things.
But the idea that this, the idea that this was a 5-win team that was so close to 8 wins.
Yeah, right.
I just have a hard time buying that.
No.
And then there's the quarterback play on top of it. And we don't need to get into that, but I don't believe in any of these quarterbacks.
The bottom line is, and I'm with you, the only chance they're going to finish with 8 wins is if the quarterback play they get is not a little better, significantly better than it was last year.
Yeah.
I know you and I don't believe that will be the case. I don't know how you feel, Chris.
I want to believe.
I get it. I
want to because I think any reasonable person goes, it can't get worse.
Right.
But then every time you think that, it does get worse or it's the same. So I want to believe it'll be better, but until I see it, I'm not going to say significantly. But
if it is significantly, they could win 8 games. But it's got to be significantly better because the defense is probably going to be a little worse. I'm not saying bad, but a little worse. Go ahead.
I have
Earl's retort.
This is Earl's retort, yes. So he said, I'm not there to defend myself, but please read this text to the guys.
Okay.
Earl said, I just feel like this team has some talent, and you saw it last year despite everything being not great, including the scheme and play calling. I think everybody leans on data when it's self-serving, even myself. The data says this man, Todd Monken, when involved in play calling, creating concepts, etc., has had success. 5 to 8 wins with more weapons projected on paper. Better scheme and philosophy doesn't sound that crazy, even though I know some people make it out to seem crazy. So then I answered Earl. We were just texting back and forth. I said, I think it just really depends on how you look at the quarterbacks. If you buy the quarterback room, I could see yourself talking yourself into more wins. If you don't, you would sell it. And Earl said, that's fair. But I think too much emphasis is being put on the quarterbacks. I see them performing around the 15 to 20 range. In my mind, that's Shador or Deshaun not even being asked to do much, run the ball, manage the offense, put us in position to finish drives, however that looks. I could be crazy, but I don't think either quarterback is going to be asked to do too much, just do enough.
Listen, 15 to 20 would be great. I don't think there's any chance that they're going to get the 15 to 20th best quarterback play in the league.
I would agree.
15 is better than half the league.
15 is...
That's being asked to do a decent amount if you're 15. I'm not sure Earl realizes where 15 is in the rankings.
Now, listen, Dylan Gabriel's got the supercomputer. I think he can really make some major strides this year, all right? No, I agree.
Get him out there.
15 to 20 is maybe asking a little too much. Is it possible? Sure. I don't know if it's probable, but
20 is a little bit more realistic than
I'd say that.
I think that's a long shot. 15, no chance. If they got the 15th best quarterback play, would they win 8 games? Yes. Yep. They would probably win 8 games. But there's no reason to believe, what would lead you to believe they could get the 15th best quarterback play? And by the way, Earl's been on this thing with Todd Monken and his play calling. Todd Monken in the NFL has been a play caller for only Lamar Jackson, except for 1 year, where he had Baker Mayfield, and that was Baker's worst season. Except for the first year.
I don't know if that was Todd's fault. The guy by the name of Freddie Kitchens
was
their head coach.
So even if we take that out, and don't blame him for that, which I'm totally fine with doing because Freddie Kitchens was a buffoon. Yes, as an OC, Todd Monken with Baltimore, until this past year, where it fell apart.
I think he called plays in Tampa Bay too, by the way.
He did?
Yeah, with Jameis. Yeah, he was the OC with Jameis Winston, wasn't he?
Yeah, Dirk Cutter brought him, and he was the OC.
Well, how did he do there?
It was Jameis' 30-30 season. I know that.
30 touchdowns is good.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, and didn't the coaching staff get fired after that year? Or no?
Jameis got LASIK. I know that.
Yeah.
That's when they brought in Brady, right?
Yeah.
It was after that.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Then they went to Brady. But the bottom line is he had the majority.
Oh, wait, I was wrong. Hold on. 30-30 was the year after Monken. That was in 2019 when he was here.
Yeah.
The 3 years with Jameis in Tampa Bay.
Oh, he was the play caller for 3 years? Are you sure?
He was the OC. I'm not sure if he's a play caller.
Who was their coach?
Dirk Cutter.
Oh.
I'll find out who called.
All right. So how did Jameis play those 3 years?
2016, 28 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. 2017, 19 and 11. 2018, 19 and 14.
I mean, you can't just go by that, but that's not obviously. Listen, Jameis was what he was. He doesn't have Lamar Jackson. He doesn't even have prime Jameis Winston on this team.
Here's what I'll say, because I've had this conversation with a couple people in the league about both head coaches separate times. But I was told by someone in the league one time that Kevin Stefanski, his offense requires a quarterback to play very specifically on time within his system.
Right.
That's why certain guys have more success than other guys. And right after Monken got hired, I was talking to one of his former quarterbacks who said that he gets the most out of his quarterbacks regardless. He molds the offense to them. So I can see that play calling will help the quarterback position.
I agree, yeah.
Now, will it mean 15 to 20 like Earl wants to believe? I don't know. But I do think we're going to see better quarterback play because Monken his track record says he will mold the offense, he will mold what he calls to his quarterback, whoever that is going to be.
I will agree.
I got the play calling answer, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bull, you were correct. He was not the primary play caller in 2016 or 2017. That was Dirk Cutter.
Okay.
In 2018, according to an ESPN article, he was given play calling duties and it was taken away. And then Cutter took it back to try and save his job.
So he didn't do a great job, or at least the head coach didn't think he did a great job. He didn't have success with Baker. Again, you want to give him a pass. I'm not really saying this to knock him. I'm just saying we really don't know him as a play caller outside of Lamar Jackson.
You're saying you need to see it without one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in football.
I mean, could there be a bigger gap between Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen. I know he's had his struggles in the playoffs, but I think part of the reason Lamar has struggled in the playoffs is why? Play calling. Because they've gone away from the run too often in the playoffs.
And one more thing, and not that I'm just going to play contrarian here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend Todd or whatever.
Yeah.
He also did. Got to give him credit. Won 2 national championships with a walk-on named Stetson Bennett.
He did a great job in college.
If you saw him walking down the street, you would say, yeah, that guy's just a frat bro at Georgia, not a national championship winning quarterback.
He did a great job in college. I do agree with your point and Earl's point that I think Todd Monken will be a better fit for Shedeur than Kevin Stefanski was. But before we start talking about him being worth wins, can he coach one NFL game? Listen, Earl is optimistic, and I think Earl is right that if, and obviously it's a big if, the Browns get quarterback play in the 15 to 20 range, could they win 8? Absolutely. I just think that's such a long shot that it's crazy to think it's going to happen.